Catholic Salmond slams Westminster and Brexit as he makes another call for Scottish independence. Amid a series of allegations of inappropriate behaviour by Westminster MPs, Mr Salmond said the political chaos in London means the timing had never looked better for Scotland to break away from the Union. Speaking to around 1,600 activists at an event dubbed the Build Bridges to Indy, Mr Salmond said, "Obviously our strength is great. Look around the hall, feel our strength as a movement, but also understand the weakness of our opponents. I've been active in politics for 30 years, elected politics, and I've never seen the British state in a state of more disorientation and chaos. We're Johnny-no-mates in Europe, not a single friend across the continent. The structures of Westminster politics are decaying before our eyes. So this is a matter, not just of our strength but their weakness. That also dictates the timing of the campaign, and that is another factor for us to consider. I would say the timing has never looked better for the national cause of Scotland." Mr Salmond, who lost his Gorton seat at this year's general election, is determined for Scotland to retain close ties with Europe, and said Holyrood should pursue membership of the European Free Trade Area, EFTA, if Scotland votes for independence at a future referendum. He added the platform the movement decided upon would dictate the timing of another referendum. The former First Minister continued, "In that case the referendum must be held at the point of hard Brexit, or at the point of transitional agreement beyond hard Brexit. Such a position would offer an island of certainty in a sea of confusion, and that would be of enormous value in winning the next independence referendum." Mr Salmond did, however, conceded that the pro-independence movement at the last referendum was not perfect. He admitted the independence white paper perhaps strayed too much into the form of a party manifesto as opposed to a national platform. But equally, no sane person would suggest that in Scotland we should replicate the empty white sheet of paper that the pro-Brexiteers advocated during the UK referendum. We have to get a balance between offering a vision of a future and having something which is so detailed it goes into what should properly belong in the manifestos of the political parties contesting the first independence election after our constitutional aspiration is achieved. The news comes after a US senator claimed Russian spies had set up shop in Scotland to rally support for a second independence referendum. During a hearing in Washington on Russian interference in last year's U.S. presidential election, Senator Angus King said Scotland was also a Kremlin target. As tensions continue to simmer between the two former Cold War foes, Senator King alleged Russia has intervened in elections across Europe and now has its sights on Scotland. He told the Senate Intelligence Committee, "We know the Russians were involved in the French election. We know that they were involved in the German elections. We are now learning they were involved in the separation of Spain. And my understanding is they've set up shop in Scotland, which is talking about an independence vote from Great Britain. This is a sophisticated worldwide strategy. It hasn't stopped, and it won't stop.